we're going to get into a few stories today because you've got the inside scoop and a whole bunch of stuff. Hi, Mary. Hi, everybody, for joining us. It's Lev Parnas. LevParnas.substack.com is where you can look at Ludmila Piker loves you. I love you, Lev, she says. And please go and subscribe because the work that he's doing right now is truly incredible, covering not just the MAGA Civil War, which we're covering as well, but you're doing stuff that nobody else is talking about. Trump's plan to rig the next election already underway. No one's stopping. I don't want to get inside some conversations you've been having with people about how he plans on doing that. It's so awesome having you around, Lev. Thanks for doing this. And Russia unleashing a new kind of terror after a phone call with Trump. Some of your work has just been phenomenal. But where do you want to start today? Because we're going to do this hopefully on Mondays, like a little bit of a weekend roundup where Lev and I get to talk about what's happening between both countries, the assault on democracy and freedoms. So this is really the inaugural one. We're going to take it for a spin, maybe do some artwork. Who knows? Who knows? We might even get logoed mugs, Lev. I might even get logoed mugs.
Yeah.
But we've got that. We've got the America Party. We've got the war with Trump. We've got the disappearing Epstein list. We've got election rigging. We've got Ukraine. Where do you want to start, my friend?
I mean, where do we begin? I mean, it's like this. That's the whole problem. The problem is there's so much, and what is the most important thing. You know what? I'm going to start off what I think the most important thing, because a lot of us think, there's a lot of rights that are being taken away, a lot of things that are happening on every day, and we say that's the most important thing. But I think the most important thing is happening right now. Something that's being done right in open sight. He started it already, and this is his next move. So basically, his first plan was, when he came into office, was to make sure to get everybody on his side, get all his cohorts, get all of his loyalists, get everybody in place. He rigged got everybody, the Senate, to approve all of his loyalists to go in his positions. He took over the DOJ. He took over the FBI. He took over all the institutions. The next step was to start destroying our financial institutions by starting doing this major tariff campaign, fighting with Canada, going after, we don't even talk about all of that stuff that's being happening. We're starting to feel the effects. I mean, then the process from there, he went on taking away our rights. Habeas corpus, just like you said, taking people off the street, not only immigrants, but American citizens. People, you got the Supreme Court to side with them, to give him permission now to actually go after, people that were born in this country, that never seen another country, that their parents came here for whatever reason. Doesn't matter if their parents came here legally, whatever, but the kids were born here, live here, go to school here, don't know any other life than here. Now he has the right to start, yanking and taking away citizenships and throwing people back all over the place. So, I mean, you got all of this going on. So what, and that's not even to say about what's happening in Ukraine and, the bombardment day by day that I write about, that, he's basically just, and you guys see it unfold, it was all an act, Putin this, Putin that. At the end of the day, what did he do? He gave Putin whatever he wanted. He's allowing him, and now he's quietly walking away and blaming Biden. Biden is the root of all evil. It's Biden's fault. The economy is no good. Not his tariffs. It's Biden. It's Biden's fault of Ukraine, not his fault. So a lot of bad things. Going after journalists, independent journalists, going after media, shutting down free speech. I mean, we could go on and on and on. It's so crazy. And I'm not trying to say it to scare anybody, but like I said, I'm never going to sugarcoat it. We need to know the truth. But the scariest is what's happening right now. And it's not the Epstein letter. It's not Elon Musk fight, because
these are distractions. Yeah, we'll get to those in a minute.
These are distractions, but they're also cracks in the armor, which we'll talk about. Very important, because they are distractions, but they're also major cracks in his armor. But the most important thing is what he's doing is called election reform. And I've written about it several times. I've spoken about it. I've done lives about it. And I'm going to keep talking about it like a broken record, because he, even on Independence Day, standing on top of the White House porch, said it out loud himself. He said that my people promised me a fair election. My people promised me. This is, those of you that don't know Donald Trump, you might not think anything of it, but those of you like myself that knows him very well, that those are basically, to interpret that to you is basically saying they will hand deliver me the election, just like they handle delivered me the big beautiful bill or the ugly bill, however you want to call it, because that's when he said it. It was right after that, So that is the key. That's what I would
Yeah, it was
say
the
to you.
4th of July when he's on the balcony with Melania. I don't know if you saw them trying to kiss later on in the evening. Looked like he was going to eat her. It was one of the grosser things I've ever seen. But you're referencing a speech that he gave before that where he said, "My people have promised me the elections will not be rigged or sullied." To your point, you know what he means with that vague language, right? You know exactly what he means because you know the man, you talk to the people that know the man, and you know what's going on behind the scenes. So, what do you think he means by that? Is there any breakdown of what you think he really means when he says, "My people have promised me the elections will not be rigged or sullied"?
Well, you gotta understand, it goes back to who is he talking about? His people. There's a variety of people. First of all, his people are Stephen Miller. His people are Russell Vaught. His people are certain people in Congress and in Senate. That's who he's talking about. His people promised him. And also, don't ever forget Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, because they're there to make sure that nobody could touch him. They're there to make sure they could go. They're the pit bulls that are like on both sides. If you see that, if you could imagine that picture, so they're always there, the two of them. So those are his people. His people are there to deliver. And what do I mean by deliver? I mean, it's basically, I'll mention some of the stuff, Project 2025, voter suppression, he gutting early voting, mail-in ballots in key swing states, federalizing ICE and DHS into domestic enforcement tools to intimidate vulnerable communities, rewrite DOJ and DHS internal rules to allow persecution of election interference. Don't forget that includes protest, speech. They don't like that. Purging civil servants, replacing them with loyalists who will follow unlawful orders, which we're seeing play out all over the place.
Sure.
Deploying military style response plans under the Insurrection Act framework that we already seen. It's happening right now in Los Angeles. So these are the things that are already happening. They're happening as we're watching them. And then he has the power of, these dimwits, and I call them enablers in Congress and in Senate that just fall over themselves. Don't even know what, I mean, it's just so embarrassing to watch grown men and women that have taken an oath to a country, that also have constituents, and just literally just bumbling fools and idiots passing a bill. Is that they all agree upon. That's the crazy part. Except the hardcore mega dimwits, I call them, that just don't know. But everybody else, even that voted for, agree it's a shitty bill, and
Hmm.
that's what's happening. That's why I want to make sure that, and guys out there, you do your job. Make sure the most important thing right now is, because there's certain things that the Supreme Court already allowed him to get away with, and he's doing it right now. This is a major line of, we got to draw the line in the sand on this one. This is our voting rights, because this is why I think this is the most important one, and that's why I think we started off with it, is because he gets away with this. He doesn't need to then, do martial law and all of that, because he'll play out this voting in front of your eyes. But just think about what he's trying to do. He's trying to rig it, like he was saying that the Bidens and the Democrats rigged the Clintons. He's doing what he said. It's part of that whole psychological good, project onto others as you want to do yourself. Meanwhile, so
Mhm.
nobody thinks you're gonna do it. So he's trying to rig it the same way. So everything he was saying that they were doing, he's planning on doing. And if he gets away with it, it doesn't matter what happens, because we'll all go vote. We'll all think, we'll have great results coming on. Then on election night, we'll say, oh, Donald Trump's a winner. Oh, all the red across the states everywhere. And you'll be like, what the hell just happened? And you got to think the other thing, that the biggest thing that now he has in his control is because of the DOJ and the FBI and all of these, the attorney, all of this, all of the hierarchy, and that he has control of also now these people around him, even though he has a break with Elon Musk, but he has a lot of other people that are very well tuned with the way you could use the internet by rigging stuff, doing stuff, voter, but I mean, which now nobody's gonna look into. There's not gonna be nobody. There's no oversight. So if there's no oversight, and all of a sudden, this happened to happen, who are you gonna cry? So that's why I'm saying I know it's really crazy, and but I'm ringing the alarm bells, and with everything that's going on, yes, it's important. I always say don't just we could all walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, we're all capable. Maybe Donald Trump can, but we're all capable, and so yes, we could watch the news, and this is why I tell all of our subscribers and all of our followers, make sure, yes, you watch what's happening. Out of some of it, you gotta disrupt, throw out the garbage because some of it will be fluff, it will be to distract. Some of it will be important, and you gotta put the important stuff. Keep putting it away. You gotta save it in the box because it's still important. Like for instance, I always keep going back to Roe versus Wade. I mean, that's something that he took away from all the women in the United States that we don't talk about ever because we have so much things. But I gotta keep in the box because these are things we're gonna get back to. We're gonna get back to getting back our rights. So we need to understand everything he's taken away and memory. But we have to concentrate on the important ones. Like we can't get blindsided and because of the Epstein file list. Is it important? Yes, but it's important for different reasons, which we'll talk about. Not because it's important that it's going to somehow take away our rights. So we don't need to get boggled down for 3-4 days on that, which what happens. Like he'll take away our right, some constitutional right. That'll be a 2-hour news really, and then the Epstein files will be talking about for a month. About like who was on it and why was he there and why wasn't he there and what if he was there, but what if he wasn't there and he was there and she was there now? Oh, now we have. Are you fuck? Come on, let's take a deep breath. So
Yeah, it's a carousel of distractions. I think when you talk about what's a distraction and what isn't, there are convenient ones and inconvenient ones. But that's something that this gentleman has done an incredible job of over the past 50 years of public life, being a con man, being a salesman, being a TV star on The Apprentice. It's how do I take advantage of the chaos around me and then take some kind of fucking credit for it, and then find a way to use that chaos to benefit myself long term. Back to the election reform thing. He doesn't want fucking election reforms, Lev. You know what he wants? He wants to destroy free and fair elections in the United States. So, you go back real quick and you start, sorry, yeah, someone's like, don't call him a gentleman. Everybody said, don't call him a gentleman. Sorry. That tyrannical
thank
dickhead.
you. Yes, much better.
um, this is eerily, tic tac toe with what was going on and is still going on in LA with the National Guard, what is going on with habeas corpus rights being suspended. It feels like these hot spots, whether it's LA, whether it's other places around the United States of America, where people are being rounded up, where people are being detained, where people are being deported, where people are being arrested, where people are being harassed. It feels like this is the Trump regime's dry run for the midterms. This is the Trump regime's dry run for not just creating chaos so that they can scare people from voting, but quite possibly a dry run to convince America it's not in your safety best interest to have an election in 2026. That's what it feels like. That's what I get from
Exactly.
your writing.
That's exactly you're 100% right, Dean. That's exactly what I've been telling about. I'm telling everybody, if we're fortunate enough and we're lucky enough to reach 2026, when I say reach it, meaning that we'll be able to go vote, we then have to be fortunate enough and lucky enough that our votes will matter and count.
Yeah.
Then we have to be fortunate enough and lucky enough that they will accept the votes because of now state by state. And, there's so many crazy, I'm not a constitutionalist, but I've been watching and just hearing some of these crazy ideas that they have and just speaking to some of my sources and hearing about the things that they talk out loud. The shit that they say out loud is crazy that they think about. So to think about all of these things, what I'm saying to you is we can't wait to take those chances. We need to do everything we can every single day. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds repetitive. It sounds like, come on, Lev, you're like being shut up already. You're screaming, but I can't because it's the truth. Because if we don't, every day that goes by, every day, folks, that goes by is getting worse and worse. And you could just stop right now and go look at the history for the past 6 months, and take a look at every single day and take a look at what we spoke about. Everything is documented, everything is recorded. All my letters are written, they're dated, they're saved, archived. You could take a look at for the past several months exactly every single day what I've said, what I've written, what I've talked about, what I've told you, and I'm not saying I told you so. I don't have some magic crystal ball in front of me that I'm trying to. This is not some kind of scam that we're trying to play. I'm telling you that if you listen to what I'm telling you, and if you just watch exactly what's happening, you'll also start seeing it and understanding it. The biggest advantage that I have, besides having good sources and people to tell me and constantly telling me all these stuff that's happening from inside, but also I know the man. I literally know the man. I know, like, so it's like when if you all sit back and think, okay, oh, I know my friend, like he's going to act like this if something like this happens. That's how I know. So I see Trump, like I see how he reacts. So I know him. So it's not that for me that difficult to think what he's going to do next because I've been with him in the trenches where he sent me to do this stuff. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying to you. So it's not like there's a magic answer that you could just say, okay, because some people say, Lev, what can we do? How do we stop it? It's not just one answer where you could say, well, we're going to stop. We have to keep doing by doing everything we can. And
Mhm.
that includes speaking out. It includes spreading the message. It includes bringing 3, 4 more people onto the platform. It includes going out there and protesting. It includes calling your congressmen and senators. It includes writing letters. It includes all of these things and whatever else you could think of.
Mhm.
You have to keep doing it, and you have to keep doing it every day, nonstop, from every single angle. Because the one thing I will tell you, because I know these people very well, and what I'm seeing, and that's the other thing I'm talking about, I'm writing about, that's important, that is very important, is there are real cracks. He doesn't have, he doesn't have an easy way right now. The biggest thing he has on his side right now is those two pit bulls, Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, because those are very, very important, and the Supreme Court. I'm not going to get to the Supreme Court right now, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I want to get to Pam Bondi and Cash Patel because they're front and center for one of the stories I wanted to talk to you about. Distraction or not distraction. This is where the cracks appear in this fight with Elon Musk. Elon starts the America Party, raging on Twitter and social media right now against not just Donald Trump and not just the Democrats and not just MAGA and not the GOP, which I think he's a cretin, but I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a fucking sweet show to watch. He's also just full throated going after the Trump regime for being part of and protecting the Epstein pedophile ring and list. And he's going after Pam Bondi and he's going after Cash Patel on Twitter as I speak. I've got a couple pieces of it on my Substack. Highly encourage everybody to go and have a look at it. DeanBlundell.substack.com, which lays it out. And we'll get to what the America Party is in terms of a crack or distraction and the crack or distraction of the relationship between Musk and Trump. But Patel and Pam Bondi put out a letter this weekend. July 4th, everybody's barbecuing hot dogs, everybody's drinking beer, having seltzers, ATVing through sand dunes, target shooting into the water. That's what you do. Blowing your hands off with fireworks. It's what America does. So while that's going on this weekend, they put out a fucking letter from the DOJ. Can I just read it to you real quick? I'll read you the. Have you read this thing yet? Have you read the whole
No,
thing?
I have not. So please, I'm sure we all want to. This
Good
is
God, Lev.
please.
I can't. I could not fucking believe it. Pardon my language. I should probably not swear as much as I do. But if for anybody out there that doesn't like cursing, it's going to happen from time to time. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. So Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, the U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigations, both of them, they're the heads of both. FBI, of course, Patel, who I don't know which eye to look into when I look at him, but whatever. And then you've got Pam Bondi, who just looks about as vacant as an airhead as humanly possible. She's like a shitty trial lawyer. She's a lobbyist for Qatar, but she'll protect Donald Trump to the end, and that is exactly what this is. On the heels of the breakup between Musk and the allegation that Trump's name is all over this Epstein list, they put this out. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigations have conducted an exhaustive review, Lev, of investigative holdings related to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its bases, databases, hard drives, network drives, physical searches of squad areas, lock cabinets, desks, closets. So she goes through and names like a billion different places. Like it's like we checked under the mattress. We we did a full body cavity search of Epstein before we put him in the cooler. We looked in the cushions, and she says the files relating to the Epstein include a large volume of images, and then she goes on to some really gnarly shit. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing, so now she's laying that. She's like, "That's court order. We can't really talk about it anymore. Now it's court-ordered sealing." She was going through it. It was on her desk. Multiple statements of her saying, "I'm going through the list. It's on my desk." Kash Patel, "I'm going through the list. It's on my desk." President Trump in an interview with Lex Friedman, that Russian asset. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to get the list." So thousands of people have admitted to this list existing. We've seen pictures of the list and Trump's name on the list, including 14 of his phone numbers in unredacted documents over the past several years. So they say this. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. Your thoughts, my friend Lev Parnas.
I mean, like, you literally can't make this shit up. You know that. You know. Well, let me just give you some telltales. First of all, something as big as my sources are telling me because they're gonna clean it up. First of all, it's all about the timing. You're 100% right. First of all, the first thing is when they put it out. They put it out on the 4th of July. Dead news cycle. People are out barbecue. Nobody's reading it. Media, no, nobody's understanding it, right? But the interesting part is today you hear nothing about it. You don't see nobody, no Pam Bondi, no press releases from nobody media, nobody in front of the
No
cameras, no
news
Donald Trump,
stories, no
no
nothing.
news stories, no nothing. Like it's until the next story comes out. Now, so I had some conversations and I had to do some digging, and let me tell
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you got. Tell me what you got, Parnas.
the reason they laid it out and they put it out is because it goes back to Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk has been putting out all these crypto messages about the Epstein files from the first time he went at it with them to now currently he put the time ticker and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon Musk, and that's why I tell everybody is like when you're somebody like myself that was very close in Trump world, I understand how Elon was in Trump world. He wasn't just doing Doge; he was inside. He was next to Trump. He would be around. I mean, you saw the pictures, you saw the videos. So he happened to be a fly on a lot of walls. Just
Mm-hmm.
like I happen to be a fly on a lot of walls. That's why, like, even when I testify, yes, it's not that I was tasked to do all of these things or been around, but I happened to because I was with Rudy Giuliani 24 hours a day and I was around Trump and all of it in the White House. I happened to be around the Mueller report and this and Venezuela and that, and not just the Ukrainian stuff that I was tasked for. So same thing with Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is he's crying to the world, and my sources are telling me is he's seen the list. So he has the information. I don't know if he has copies of
Does he
it.
have the list itself? Does
I
he
don't know.
have
I don't know
no?
yet. I can't. I'm not gonna. I don't know if he has it or not, but he definitely knows. And see, the key to the list is not even that Donald Trump is on the list. See, what people don't understand is there was a lot of very important people on that list, not only locally, I mean Americans, but internationally. And now Donald Trump is the president doing business with a lot of people internationally that now have access through cryptocurrency and other ways to make it beneficial for that list to go away, folks. Do we understand
Mm,
each other? Do we follow what I'm trying to say here? So
mm.
I'm not
Yeah, World Liberty Fund
not
comes in
fully
handy.
there yet. We're not fully there yet. But what I'm saying to you is the one thing I could tell you is Donald Trump is definitely not only protecting himself, but protecting other people from allowing this. And now this is a real test to see where we are as a country and where we are as the media and where because if we allow the media to get them off the hook by not pounding Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Karen Levitt, and every single one of them, every single it doesn't matter if right now he turns around and says we're going to World War III with Iran, folks. I don't give a shit. I want to turn around and say, okay, tell us, Donald Trump, how come you're not? What happened to the Epstein list you saw? We're about to invade Russia. Got you, my man. What happened to the list? Keep it to him. Keep it to him and the people. Don't let it go away. Because, like you said, he campaigned on it. They raised
Mm-hmm.
money on it. They want to. Mega, his all is going crazy about it. This is it, folks. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying to you. It's not important from a standpoint where it's important because it might change the way we care who's on that list. Yes, it's more of a conspiracy. It's more of a novel. It's more of historical. It's not going to change our lives if we find out this guy was a pedophile or he wasn't. It will just confirm it because we probably, a lot of us already assume a lot of the things that are on the list. So it's more of that. But what we can use this right now, use this crack, and this is why I tell everybody to keep it to the point. Use this right now because this is now his sore spot, and this is where Elon Musk will find this power, and we will allow that rift to happen. Right now, this is the way we save our democracy. This is how we act now. We be able to allow them, we allow Mega to eat themselves up inside
Mhm.
because they are as pissed at Pam Bondi. They are as pissed at everybody else. If you go to the social medias, everything, this list, this is the, I went to certain spaces last night and the shit that they're saying against each other, it's like full out.
Well, that was a big thing for MAGA, like Trump's promise, right? It was like, we're going to release the Epstein list. You're going to get the Epstein list. They had a whole bunch of right-wing influencers show up to the White House, and they handed them a redacted version of stuff that was already out and called it the Epstein client list in big red fucking letters. Lev, like, what? I mean, think about that for a second. And today, now that Elon's threatening him and he's laying breadcrumbs about, oh yeah, there's a list. He has the Maxwell client tracker out. He's got the how many days since a Maxwell associate's been arrested, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I find it to be disingenuous at best and purely fucking corrupt and criminal at worst. But what I love about it is what you're talking about is that if you look around, you survey social media spaces, you've got guys like Cat Turd going, "What the fuck? This wasn't what I voted for." Right? You've got like real, I mean, and say what you want about that diabetes laden moron Cat Turd, but the one thing that I can tell you is that the fissures are starting. Yeah, huge. I mean, and those are the guys that are the angriest because of that weird association with
Laura Logan.
QAnon. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
She's going after Pam Bondi like it's
Oh,
like
Loomer. Yeah.
Loomer. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry. I might say Loomer. Yeah, Loomer.
When you said Laura, I was like, okay, yeah, there's only one Laura in this
There's a
neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah, when you lose Laura Loomer, right? It's like losing Marjorie Taylor Greene times 10.
and he lost Marjorie Taylor Greene
Yeah.
over the Iran. I mean, they're all. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. Is we have to somehow, by forcing to keep the a spotlight on this. Let them. It will. I know these people. They will know. They're gonna try to change the news cycle literally today to make sure that you never hear about the Epstein list again, because that's also part. And this is another thing that I want to talk into, a part of Elon's strategy, why he even did the third party and everything,
Yeah, let's get into that. Yeah.
because Elon is trying to follow. He understands that Trump is going to go after him, so he understands that Trump is right now. He understands what's it called. So he's trying to save himself by not running for, but at least being part of the process where oh, you're trying to shut me up by because I got this. He just doesn't understand that Trump is not the Bidens or anybody else where they had no control of the DOJ or what's it called. Trump is actively looking to go after him in any physical possible way. So it all leads into each other, Dean.
Mhm. Yeah, it really does, and that kind of brings us into the America Party. Is over the weekend after the big beautiful bill passed. Elon's like traditionally all threats, no action. I've seen that before until he gets forced into action, a la buying Twitter. He's very much like Trump, although Trump is the king of taco. Elon's not far behind, and so he capitulated a couple times when he had his original breakup with Trump on social media. He was like, okay, I've kind of gotten over my skis. I won't be tweeting about it anymore. And then another one, he's like, I'm going to refrain from Trump saying he wants to deport me and take away all my subsidies. I'm just going to start a new party. And so he kind of got busy with the business of Tesla, which I believe is part of his little rehab strategy here as well. He's trying to endear himself to another group of people because he's completely run out of fucking runway because of what he's done with Trump. Everybody hates him. So this is going to be really interesting to see what kind of goodwill people have, or do you people just hate MAGA enough that they're willing to watch Elon Musk and support Elon Musk in his bid to have this third party sort of be that home wrecking party, in the Senate and in the House and in America's two-party uniparty system, which I kind of understand in a weird way. But what are his impetuses? And because part of me thinks that this is a distraction. Part of me thinks, it dawned on me yesterday what this could do to the Democratic Party if the Democrats come over, could wipe them out, strengthening, the right side of the equation. But he's really positioned this as a centrist, answer to, extreme left, extreme right, MAGA versus Antifa, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess the question I would ask you is that how much of it do you believe is real? And do you think that the Trump regime is actually afraid of what Elon Musk can do if he can flip a couple of seats here and there and be the balance of power in the U.S. government while Donald Trump's involved?
I think it's a question we gotta look at from a couple of sides. So first of all, I don't think Elon Musk has the capability, not because financially, but because even ratings wise, I mean, he's not very liked in the world. Now let's understand now his idea of a more centrist party. I would agree with. I think we need to. That's where America needs to get more into the middle and get away from mega, get away from Antifa, get into the middle, and get our country back on track.
Hmm.
But I don't think Elon Musk, and that's why I think he's definitely smart enough, and that's why he's jumping on that. He's seeing the division and trying to find that middle. So I see, I agree with him on that, but I don't think he's going to be capable of doing it. I think he's more using it from a standpoint of like a negotiating. He's like negotiating out front, out in the public with Trump. They're having a war, and this is part of his negotiating to try and protect himself. Also, keep in
Hmm.
mind.
Yeah.
So it's like he has to do it. It's on a much bigger level. This is not Elon Musk just wanting to be in politics, folks. Right now, I think if Elon Musk had a real choice and he could get away from Trump clean and what's it called and make it redo again, he would not get into politics at all. He'd go back to Tesla, his company, SpaceX, and everything else. But right now, he's kind of caught, and that's what he has to use the powers of because he understands that Trump is going to come after him. He understands he's going to go after his companies. Bannon's already talking about privatizing SpaceX. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't think from that standpoint Elon has a chance to do to get it done. But with that said, it's a major problem for Donald Trump because the way is so close. First of all, Donald Trump won by such a close margin, even though he did win all of the swing states in, but it was such a close margin.
Yeah.
We still don't know. By fact, maybe Elon's going to come out one day tell us the real truth. So
Wouldn't
you
that
know,
be hilarious? I was thinking about
you
that
imagine,
yesterday. I'm like, the pedophile thing, that's one thing. I would love for him to go, guys, I got to tell you, I got paid a lot of money to rig a bunch of machines, rig Starlink, and he didn't win any of those states. And he kind of almost said that in a tweet a while ago, if you remember. He's like, by the way, Trump wouldn't have won without me. 59-41 would have lost, wouldn't be president, be in fucking jail. And I'm like, I want to know more now. I do tell.
I think he's going to first move to Russia and do that from Russia. I don't think he'll do it while he's in the
You think
United
so? You
States.
think he'd go to Russia first?
I, I think, yeah. I mean, with my so I mean, he has really good friends over there. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
dude, you can't just gloss over that.
I think he goes over there and then rocks it over here if that comes down to it. But I think Trump is very scared of him. I think because Elon knows a lot, and it's not like you could just shut him up. He knows Elon's also a loose cannon. Trump also understands that Elon has so much money that he can't just like scare him with one company, one deal. Instead, he could infuriate him and have him do something even crazier. So he's definitely dealing with, and Elon's using that to his advantage by going out there and doing these things in the open. Because as you could tell, Trump is not, yes, he's saying Elon's off the rails and stuff like that, but he's not coming after him like he would like he comes after people. Like, he's not coming out saying, oh, I'm going to shut him, like how dare he, what's it called? He this time around, the first time around, everybody's like, oh, Trump shut him up. He threatened him. He said if Elon backs any Democrat, he's gonna, do something, and Elon came and bowed down. He ain't doing it now. Now he's talking about, oh, let him have some fun. It's not a great idea. Third part. But my source said he's really shitting bricks because, again, all it takes is a couple of seats here, a couple of seats there. And with Elon's money, you got to also understand the way the political game is played is I always tell everybody, don't always watch what is being said, because Elon could be sitting here talking about starting up a party, meanwhile funding all of these through different companies, through different offshore entities, funding all of these Trump. I mean, there's so many. That's another thing that we always talk about is, these super PACs and the way the funding comes there. Guys like Elon Musk have companies all over the world. They have money, bank accounts all over the world. They have so many different companies. I mean, I can't explain to you. Just look at me. I had hundreds of companies, and I'm a peon. Yeah, not even compared to somebody like you. So I can't even imagine the structures and the going around. And so for him to be able to fund any race, primary, any single candidate out there, it's like for easier than you hitting that heart right now. That's how easy it is for him, and financially and politically. So just because he's doing this, it doesn't mean. So Trump is really worried about, and I'm hearing that there's a lot of shit that's about to come down the pike. That's why make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys put your what's that, notifications on, because you never
Yep.
know when we'll go live and we'll break some crazy that's coming down the pipe.
Well, I'm excited for that. You've been 100% with every one of your predictions a day or two, sometimes a week or two early, whether it was Iran and Russia and Trump, whether it was Musk, whether it's the America Party, whether it's vote rigging. What I find really interesting about his America Party, though, it kind of like, the way that his platform is coming together. Like he can tell you that this is a centrist party, but I'm just going to read to you some of the things on his platform. He wants to reduce debt, responsible spending only. Sure, everybody does, right? Modernize military with AI robotics. Absolutely. Sounds like a lot of fun. Accelerate to win in AI. No idea what that means. Less regulations across the board. Libertarian. Free speech. He's not a free speech guy. This is the one that gets me. Oh, the centrists everywhere else. I don't know what that means either, but that's his platform. But here's my favorite. He's pro-natalist. He's going to have a natalist thing. If you know what natalism is, yeah, no, this is incredible. Elon has 14 kids with something like 7 different women, right? They all live at Starbase in these compounds, and sure you know these things. But natalism is the belief that runs around in Silicon Valley. Curtis Yarvin's a fan of it, where what you have to do if you're a man is you have to have as many babies with as many people as humanly fucking possible, especially if you're a white man, to ward off the great replacement theory. So that's part of the America Party's platform. I just want everybody to know it before you're like, maybe I should get a membership. I don't know. I don't know. You're going to have a lot of kids, specifically white kids. I'm just letting you know. Listen, I want to pivot a little bit. Something that's close to your heart. Being from Odessa, being from Ukraine, you do such an incredible job on the Voice of Ukraine with your podcast or Substack Live partner. And I know, obviously, with your attachment to your Ukraine, if anybody understands who Lev is, where he's from, what he's done, he was Trump's henchman, the guy that sort of tried to, figure out a way to frame Hunter Biden. And that moment with you and Hunter shaking hands and apologizing was one of the most incredible moments into Russia from Lev, the documentary that Maddow did with you. But you have a real love, obviously, for your home country, and you've been doing some really incredible reporting, and all of these things being distractions for this relationship in Russia between Putin and Trump, and what is being allowed to happen at an increasingly alarming rate in Ukraine. All war is bad war, specifically this genocidal war Russia is committing against the Ukrainian people. And 2 things happened this last week. Pete Hegseth magically stopped arms shipments to Ukraine. So these are part of the agreed upon armaments that Ukraine did a deal with the Biden administration over. They pulled those out of Poland. And the other thing that happened this week is Russia got absolutely violent again. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drones. Now, also silver lining is I'm watching these pictures of Kyiv on fire. How much worse it could have been over the weekend, shooting one day down over 400 drones with their interceptor drones. I mean, Ukraine's just doing this incredible job of defending their people and doing their very best to keep their head above water while they are being abandoned by the United States of America and the Trump regime. Can you talk a little bit about, what seems to be an increasingly disengaged Trump, which appears to be very much coordinated. Not only did Ukraine get pounded with these missiles and drones the other day, Russia snuck in and took over a couple of lithium fields, some rare earth fields. These are fields and area deposits that the Trump regime has a deal apparently with Ukraine on, and they're not only not helping Ukraine defend their rare earth materials and fields, they're not even going to send them Patriot missiles or armaments to be able to ward off attacks on their own people. So to me, it would look like that this is just like every small sign is a big sign. Trump is abandoning Ukraine, and he's doing it so strategically and at the behest, at the puppet strings of Vladimir Putin, who continues to kill, murder, maim the Ukrainian people.
Oh, I mean, couldn't have said it better myself, Dean. I mean, the only thing I'll correct you a little bit is that he's not abandoning, he's abandoned. Just like I say, we're not going to be in the constitutional crisis. We are in a constitutional crisis. We
Hmm.
are in an authoritarian country right now, even though you might not believe it because it takes some history to look back and think of what we're living in because it's hard to see what we're living in ourselves. But if you take a look at all our rights that have been taken away and how, just think about one thing. You're scared. I have people that are American citizens, but they're either Spanish or Mexican or but born here American citizens. They're scared to go to a local taco truck because there's ICE raids around these areas trying to pick up workers. And if you get caught up, it doesn't mean you could scream all you want. You're an American citizen. And what are you walking around with your citizenship birth? How do you prove you're an American citizen if they take you up, throw you in the van, and then you end up in El Salvador? I'm saying to you. So just think about, what country we're living in. Same thing that's happening over there in the Ukraine. I mean, I've been writing about it, talking about it, trying to get people aware. But Donald Trump, through Steve Witkoff and others, have cut the deal. The mineral deals and everything else were all distractions. It's all optics. It was also all ways of trying to blame Ukraine because it was giving Ukraine away where a deal that they wouldn't accept, that they couldn't accept, and then to turn around and say, "You see, you didn't do it," and just allow Russia to unleash. But it was created because everything Trump laid out to him, Zelensky accepted. Zelensky agreed to. Zelensky went ahead and did it because they understood that Trump, it didn't matter, and Trump showed his true colors every time he would talk big and bad, how he might sanction Vlad, stop this and that. But then a day later, 2 weeks later, it would be some pleasantries towards Russia, attacks on Ukraine, talking about how. Just think about it. Trump is still constantly talking about that the aggressor and who started this war was Zelensky and the Bidens. Just it's. I mean, till this day. So. They've already. That's why Trump doesn't care about the minerals or schminerals because he has a deal cut through Witkoff with the Russians. That once Putin takes over Ukraine, Trump sees a lot of business being done from mineral rights to oil and gas. To getting the Russia, that's why you hear him talk about getting him back into the G8. I'm saying to you, getting them as a power player in the world stage. Starting,
Mm.
hopefully, he's lifted some of the sanctions on the banks quietly. Nobody's still talking about it. I still can't believe about that, Dean. Like
Oh,
literally nobody's talking about this. Like that's just insane.
well,
And
lifted sanctions on the banks, and he's talking about lifting sanctions on Iran, and he just co-signed a deal for Iran to sell more oil to China. I mean, it all is circular, and it all comes back to fucking him, dude.
and everything, and that's why I said people say, "Oh, he has no deal with Iran." This is all Putin cutting the deal because Putin gave this, a lot. Putin. That's why Iran didn't respond crazily to our attacks. That's why they are not attacking Israel because Putin is choreographing this. Because in the meantime, Iran is building their nuclear weapons now without anybody looking at them, watching or seeing anything, thanks to Trump. Iran is right now, we had sanctions, but now they're freely starting to sell oil to China. Out of all people, China, another one of our friends. Why, just think about this. Who's orchestrating all of this? How does that, none of that benefits us in any way. Just so I understand, when he says America first, when they scream mega, I mean, think about how does any of this, the only country all of this benefits besides China and Iran, but Russia. These are all Russian allies. These are all part of Russia's attack on Ukraine. I mean, they don't talk about how North Korea. North Korea just literally a few days ago sent 30,000 troops to fight in the war on behalf of Russia for Ukraine. North Korea is not only sending now what's it called weapons by sending missiles and all kinds of drones, but they're sending 30,000 troops. You have Iran making a jihad. I mean, not jihad. What's it called?
Shahid.
Shahid. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Shahid,
problem.
what's it called? Drones,
Drones. Yeah.
nonstop for Russia. So Ukraine's fighting a multi-country war. They're fighting not just against the Russian army. They're fighting Russians, Iranians. They're fighting what's it
North
called?
Koreans,
North Koreans,
Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese. They're fighting all over the place. So what one thing that what we could talk about a little bit here that I've been nobody's been reporting, and again it's crazy, is like when Trump came back from the what's it called, the NATO. I wrote a letter, also very important. If you guys go back, take a look at my Substack, that I said that there was that same moment that he flew out, there was a flight that flew out from St. Petersburg, Leningrad,
Yeah. Hmm.
and there was a delegation from Russia to the White House. And the few days after they left, nobody spoke about it, but what they discussed was now turning into the long play to basically bleed Ukraine out by promising and not delivering while Russia. So right now, Russia since then has been continuously, and every day, every attack is worse than the other one, all over from Kiev to all of this different cities. They've amassed over 50,000 troops on the borderline of the Sunni. Okay.
Hmm.
They're right now in the process. And what is Trump doing? He's promising, he's waving the carrot in front of Ukraine with the missiles. But what he did is Pete Hegseth didn't do it. He's just taking the fall for him. I mean, Pete Hegseth wouldn't make that or command without speaking to Trump. Just understand each other. Trump pulled those, and I broke it before he even spoke to Putin. We
Dude,
went
you were
on
a day
Substack.
before everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. Your
And
Substacks. Yeah.
yeah, and basically he pulled the web. Not only stopped, he pulled them. They were already in Poland. The missiles were already in Poland. He pulled them from Poland, and then he called Putin and said the missiles are not getting anywhere. And then afterwards, he had a call with Zelensky, basically dangling the carrot, praising him, saying, we'll see what happens. Giving hope. Maybe we'll send you some weapons. Let me see. We've depleted our own weapons. Biden, we have no weapons in America now. Let me see if we could spare maybe a few missiles here and there for you. So this was the conversation. And afterwards, you see every day the bombardments going on. You don't see Trump talking about it. You don't see, you hear nothing from Witkoff. You hear nothing about from anybody. I mean, it's basically a full pledge. The last Trump said was, they'll do whatever they do. I mean, so here we are.
Oh, wild listening to you break it down and through your sources, kind of put the puzzle pieces together to be able to paint a picture for, Americans who have been duped into thinking that billions of your dollars are going into a country where Vladimir Zelensky is buying Lamborghinis and, funding Nazis and bio research and all that other bullshit. But to hear you put it together, I go back to the disinformation and the effort that's been made to vilify Ukraine, like the Tim Pools. Remember Tim Pool? Ukraine is our enemy. Like,
Yes.
and
Being paid by the Russians.
100 grand, 100 grand an episode. And it's funny because I had a conversation with another podcast guy a while ago. I'm like, would you say no to that? And he's like, I don't know. I don't make a lot of money podcasting, but most people would. And he got caught in a lie. He got caught by the FBI. He got caught by the CIA. They all got caught. And that was out of Canada, Tenant Media, if you remember correctly. But I go back to you kind of piecing these things together. And what I'm hearing you say is that there's this incredible dance going on being coordinated and choreographed by Putin, where he and Trump are in constant contact while telling Trump what stage they're at in how to continue to bleed Ukraine dry long enough that Ukraine will have no other choice. Very Grozny, very Chechnya, right? Sitting on the outskirts of a population and for years just bombing the shit out of them until there's effectively nothing left. And with I mean, you laid it out perfectly. It's not just the tea leaves, it's in the actual actions of the US government being driven by, as you call him, Pete Hegseth and and Donald Trump, who have abandoned Ukraine. Abandoned Ukraine. It's happened. It's ongoing. You're watching it.
I mean, Dean, I mean, they abandoned America. I mean, we're watching. I mean, they abandoned our own country. I mean, this is not the country that, was when he became president. We were a totally different country than we are 6 months ago. I mean, he's turning this into something else. I mean, and again, it's not America first, because if you take a look at all of these things, and none of it benefits America. It
No.
benefits only a few people. It benefits Putin and Russia. It might not be benefiting the Russian people either. Don't get me wrong, but it's benefiting Putin. It's benefiting Trump. It's benefiting it's not benefiting the North Korean people that they're sending 30,000 troops over there. But I'm sure Kim Jong Un is benefiting from that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's
Mhm.
different. It's a different world that we're living in right now, where it's not the people that are being, and that's called authoritarian. It's called, that's dictatorship. That's why I say, when we say, and America is not there yet. No, no, we're there. We could still, it's like we're in the quicksand. It's the point is that we still could jump out of it. We still have time before we're under deep under, but we're in the quicksand. Don't fool yourself by saying, "Hey, there's the quicksand. We're not there yet. We could avoid it." No, because that's the imaginary ploy that they make you believe, and then by the time you realize it, it's too late. You've drowned.
Mm.
That's why I'm sounding the alarms and I'm saying that we're in the quicksand. It's happening. It's happening all over the world, and it's being orchestrated by Putin, and it's being run like Putin, and just like we'll get into a different time, a different show, but about the Israel, Iran, and Putin and Trump. But you gotta understand, Israel right now and Iran are like two pit bulls, and Putin controls Iran. That's his pit bull, and Israel is Trump's pit bull,
Mm.
and they're being used and toyed, because they have a hatred towards each other. They want to go at each other. They have different beliefs. There's a different whole thing, but they're being used, manipulated into fake peace deals and attacks, and then counterattacks, and then to world stage, because of what's really being played out by Putin on Eastern European side, to be able to try to take over Ukraine, the Baltics, Poland, and then go into Europe. And same thing by Trump trying to do away with our constitutions, do away with our institutions, and then go after Canada, Greenland, Mexico, Puerto Rico, whatever else, Panama Canal. So, and this is how it's being divvied up.
Do you have a timeline for that before I let you go, Lev? A timeline for like when, because like there are a bunch of different things. You talk about being in the quicksand and trying to get ahead of this. We can't. But do you have a timeline for conversations you're having about when they plan on trying to create this multipolar world, or when they plan on carving up the Canadas, the Greenlands, the Baltics, et cetera, et cetera? Because, all signs point to after the midterms, depending on
Yeah.
what happens in the midterms.
No, but that's it. 2026.
Yeah.
That's 100%. If they are able to do away with and secure the elections,
Yeah.
where they could, because it's not just securing the elections for him or securing the elections for certain congressional seats. Because if they're able to fix the way voting is done in the United States, they're able to secure elections all the way down the ballot to statewide, local, and it gets to your board of educations and all these little law that run our day-to-day lives, and that's when it becomes, after that it's over with.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying to you? After
Yeah.
that, then they implement. That's why I keep sounding the alarm bell, saying, if we even have a chance to get there, we need to make sure we win at any cost, because that it will be our last chance. Because if we lose 2026, there is no going back. I mean, it'll take decades maybe to be able to get back to where we want to get this country back. So it's extremely important right now, as what we're doing is right now. Like I said, do what you can, subscribe, become paid subscribers, go out there and, call your congressmen, your senators, write letters, spread the message. The whole objective is everybody could do something. The one thing you can't do is do nothing, because history will judge every single one of us. Because right now we are in a fight. It doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what point in the world you're at. We all are affected by what's going on, even if you don't think so. Because the United States, if we lose democracy in the United States, and the United States becomes full blown authoritarian or a dictatorship, and aligns with countries like Russia, and then Russia takes over Ukraine and takes over the Baltics and Eastern, and then China would take over the, or
Thailand, Vietnam,
Thailand,
Korea.
Vietnam, exactly.
Yeah.
You're looking at a different world, folks, and
Mhm.
then I don't know how we get back. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know what it takes, or I don't know if we ever get back, or if that's the new way of life for God knows how long, for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
But this is the sand in the line where we are right here, because the one thing that we could stop it and save it is not by taking out Putin or this one or that, is by saving America, by
Mhm.
saving the here, by making sure we have a right to vote, making sure our voices are heard, making sure we're being able to get save our democracy, and then be able to get peace worldwide, because America leads, because America is is the most powerful and beautiful, the best country in the world. I mean, Canada's great, everyone's great, but America's the most powerful country, that if we lead and are like the big brother that we always were, then we have peace in the world.
Mm. LevParnas.substack.com is where you can go and find some of his breaking news before anybody else breaks it. Some people don't even touch it. He has not been wrong yet, and he continually puts his self in the line of fire himself. He continually breaks stories. He's continually working. He never leaves that room. I hope you finally invested in a mini fridge and and a nice place to put cooled edibles. And I also hope that you continue the fight, Lev. And I know you mentioned something earlier here, and I'll let you go. But you said, you feel like you're being repetitive, and I see it in your face. That's the point. That's what MAGA does so well, and it's what all of us have to do more of. And so it's really important to go and subscribe to Lev's Substack. It's really important to support him if you can by being a paid member. It's really important to share his work as much as you possibly can. It's really important to pound these hearts, share these podcasts, share these Substack lives, where it comes to people that you can trust with the information that we're giving you. And this gentleman, who I think is a hero, is doing some heroic work
God
on
bless you.
behalf of the American people. So you continue to do that at great cost. You've already paid for it. You continue to pay for it. So please support my friend Lev, who is quickly becoming an American and global hero, number 3 in world politics on Substack. Follow him there anywhere you get your Lev Parnas. You will never be disappointed. You will always be informed, and he brings the humanity aspect into play. And he also has conversations with people nobody else does. So thank you, Lev. Really appreciate you doing this. Want to come back again on Monday? I love this roundup. I
No,
think it's a lot
let's
of
do
fun.
it. I think we should do first of all, I want to thank you. You are incredible, and you do incredible work. And, being in Canada, especially right now with Trump attacking Canada, with your contacts over there, I think we should definitely, let's do it every Monday, 1 o'clock. We'll break it down, bring everybody in from the weekend. And I think it's great. I think, and everybody, whoever subscribes to me, make sure you subscribe to Dean, because it's like I said, there's only a few, there's a lot of pundits out there. There's a lot of people, but there's very few that talk about what really matters. What we're talking about. Not everybody could go repeat what CNN does. That does. That's what we're trying to fight. We're trying to fight that. We're trying to get CNN and MSNBC to report the real news, not to stop following the insanity that Trump, the carrot that he dangles in front of there and makes them chase. And that's why independent journalism is just as important as people like me that are out there telling the truth, because we're all putting our neck on the line, because Trump is going to come after all of us. Dean's a little bit, luckier. He's up in Canada, so it'll take Trump a little longer to go after him. I'm here under his control, but definitely let's do it. 1 o'clock. I'm with you, Dean. Put together the graphics. And by the way, just a quick, today at 3 o'clock, a lot of you I saw have been asking about Alex. We're going to do Voice from Ukraine at 3 o'clock with Alex live
Oh,
from
great.
Kiev. He'll give us an update on everything that's going on in Ukraine. And then today I got a special at 8 o'clock live. I'm going to be going Lev Remembers to basically take all the days, the week, bring it all up, bring it into action and break it all down to you guys. So definitely want to come listen.
Everything, Lev, is everything good for you, my friends, specifically if you're tuned in. Lev, great to see you, my bud. I'll talk to you soon. All right, pal. There you go. Lev Parnas, levparnas.substack.com. Please.